Had the thought the other day to potentially start getting on here every day with a video. Um, and to have some sort of meditation theme. Um, I don't know that I'll necessarily do that, get on here every day. But I like the idea of this this space being a meditation. I mean, I like the idea of all of life being a meditation. So I guess it's just this space isn't any different. Um, and I think that helps me give myself permission to move at a pace that feels comfortable for me, which oftentimes, especially when I'm on camera, seems to be slow. A lot of space. And I feel that in that spaciousness, there's an attunement for me to what wants to happen rather than what I want to happen. It's a sense of getting in touch with something deeper or beyond my usual patterns, preferences, um, desires to control. It's a space where control feels less necessary, preference feels less specific. It often has the quality for me of nothing needs to happen. And I imagine this tapping into this space has more to do with a calm nervous system than a slow pace necessarily. The two seem to go together for me. But maybe for some people, um, a faster pace and a calm nervous system can be synonymous. And and it's not necessary or genuinely inspired to slow down. So yeah, I guess I equate a meditative space with a calm nervous system, and I associate that with a heart space or an open heart, with stillness. But I don't like to, it doesn't feel right for me to assume that my experience and anyone else's experience are going to be the same. But that's the quality of experience I feel drawn to lately, is that what wants to arise from stillness, what wants to happen as me, through me. How does life want to dance with me, play with me, co-create with me? And I'm framing it less as what I want, because I'm thinking of I in terms of just having a lot of conditioned responses and thinking that things need to play out a certain way in order for me to feel safe, happy, fulfilled, content, comfortable. But there's the sense that the one within me that wants all of that and needs all of that is the one that often separates me from and it feels like all these different words I could use here, from life, from myself, from love, from others, from divinity. Because it's all divine, every experience, but what quality of that do I wish to experience? And is the way I go about that actually leading me to the experience that I desire? Which I imagine to ultimately be some state of peace, love, ecstasy, play, laughter embodied, and sometimes more of a gentle smile. So when I move from what I want to happen, that me that thinks it knows really anything about anything and thinks that it has a plan and a strategy that's going to work for me to have the experience I want, that part so often seems to work against itself. Because the way I imagine it, so much of that desire comes from a space of lack and fear. And that from that energy, more experiences of lack and fear will be the next experience and the next experience. So it feels as if when I set more of an intention to move from what wants to happen rather than what I want to happen, I begin to unravel. I begin to understand paradox. At some point, I feel like the concept of paradox unravels as well. Because maybe in the end, it isn't all that paradoxical, it's just an understanding of energetics. And as I move from what wants to happen, I am embodied by a different quality of experience that feels more expansive, It has a quality of unconditional love and a sense that fear is less present. And it's such a compassionate energy that fills me from that space of stillness that arises from silence, that I am safe to unravel, to fall apart, to integrate, because I doesn't go away. It's more of a shift in perspective. It's the sense that I is simply a perspective that I'm experiencing life through. And as I spend more time with a calm nervous system in that heart space, knowing myself as stillness, that perspective shifts. And I remember myself as what I was before I adopted this perspective, the I perspective, what I will be after, what I always am. And that's what I feel called to embody on camera. The words that I speak feel useful, but what may be even more powerful of an energetic transmission is simply the way I'm beginning to rest in this space. And trust myself more in the unknown. Because this isn't a space of planning or future orientation for me very often. It's a space of the unpredictable moment. And I can get pretty scared in that space. But it seems that the more this space embodies me, the less fear is present, and the more I can safely trust. It's also possible that I just am less present. Maybe that perspective never really shifts. It's just less of its energy is experienced in the space of the moment. Thank you for joining me in this moment. Thank you for sharing this space with me. And I welcome people to, if you'd like, to close your eyes or keep them open after this video's over and just rest in this energy for a bit. See you soon.